Okay. Good morning. Timestamp again, the 29th of December, and almost 24 hours after the first one, just I think 15 minutes earlier. It's 8:15 a.m. this time round. So yesterday I made a video, and yesterday I posted that video about marriage, and I shared some thoughts. And I want to follow up with this because this is the line of inquiry that I have had off the back of that video. People have been asking me about attachment because I thought I talk about attachment theory, but I tend to talk about attachment theory based on childhood. But today I want to talk to you about attachment theory based on the foundations of the relationships that you establish. Oh, yeah. There are three types of attachment generally. There is the secure attachment, there is anxious attachment, and there is avoidant. A person who is avoidant refuses to attach, and usually they avoid attachment because they know that the attachment they achieve will not be secure. They know that they cannot rely on a person to care for them, and so in defense, in protective mode, they decide to avoid the whole conversation. Those who are anxious, they are the needy attachees. They come to the relationship, they call you every minute, they text you every second, blah, blah, blah. They have insecurities. Again, they are not too different from the avoidant. In fact, the avoidants are the smart ones who move from the situation in which the anxious ones exist. When you offer instability, when your partner doesn't know exactly where you stand, when your partner does not know you will come through for them, when your partner doesn't know that you will be true, whether you be faithful, whether the attachment is anxious. In situations where balance is found, in situations like yesterday, I explained a very simple concept of intentionality. When you are very intentional, very purposeful in your engagement and interactions with a partner, when a partner knows that you are rock solid, that you are not about to shift, you are not about to change. When you are angry, you show up in the same way as when you are happy. This person becomes very secure. The attachment to you is very strong. And because this person is very secure and they have no doubts about the way you are, they are also able then to relax. You are predictable. They know what you can do. They don't need to call you 24 hours in a day. They know that wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you would be showing up the way you have chosen to show up. Not necessarily because of a societal norm or whatever, but that's how you choose to show up. I have experienced all three types of attachment in my marriage. I have. And so that's the first thing I want to say. It is not fixed the way you attach. It is not fixed. It is dependent on the circumstances prevailing. When the situation is stable, you attach differently from when the situation is turbulent. So, this particular stage in my life, I am very securely attached at this particular stage. As a very securely attached woman, when I'm out of the house, I don't even bother to be checking on my husband 24/7. Actually, he accuses me of not remaining in good contact when I have left. I'm able to go out to a place and I'm able to go have a good time with people without looking over my shoulder, without checking. And conversations with a few friends and clients recently have helped me to unpick what that is. I am comfortable. I understand how this game is. I know what is. I have made peace with what is. It's very unlikely that I'm going to get a nasty surprise. And even if I get a nasty surprise, which a friend raised, and you never know, Amma, yeah, even if I get a nasty surprise, I am very capable of dealing with a said nasty surprise competently. So I'm settled. I'm comfortable. Before I got here, the stage before I got here, for me, was avoidant. It was avoidant. I could not guarantee that things were going to happen in particular ways. I could not be sure that my husband will show up in a way. In that avoidance stage, I just couldn't be bothered with the drama. And so the barriers and the walls were right up here, right up here. I did everything for myself, found my own network, did everything in my Miss Little Independent because I just couldn't be bothered. And no, there were times when you could extend yourself and you could be intentional and put yourself out there, but you were not sure of the results. You were not sure if it was worth it or not. And so you left it. Right now, in my very settled state, I will get up and I will put myself in a place because I'm comfortable and I'm confident. I'm confident, one, that a person is likely to act in favorable ways, and two, even if a person does not act in favorable ways, I am able to cope. Secure, rock solid, not needy. The stage before that was avoidant because I had not made peace with some of those things. I was not sure of my, I did not know that I was going to cope. I worried that my little fragile heart might not be able to deal with certain things. And so guess what? I found a ring of friends, a ring of incredible friends who would come through for me and I would come through for them. We established our own systems. I built my own network. I was actually having a great time, but I was avoidant in terms of engagement and interactions. Especially, I was avoidant of situations of vulnerability. Did not want to be vulnerable. No, I would not come to you to initiate Jack. I will not come to you to do whatever. I was living my life. I was avoiding drama. And in that state, under the prevailing circumstances, I was fairly happy. The situation before that, what made me avoidant in the first place, was the anxious period where attachment was not secure, outcomes were not guaranteed. I foolishly put myself out there in situations and I got bit. I got hurt. And I put myself out in situations, I got burned. And the scars were visible for me to see. And at some point, well, in the needy stage, yeah, every second I was out, I was on the phone. I wanted to be on the phone to him. Have the children eaten? Have you eaten? If people invited me to go places, I didn't want to go just in case. I didn't take a lot of engagements because I was not sure. My husband is a homebody, so he may not want to go. If somebody invited me to an event and I accepted, I could not guarantee that this guy would make the exception to come with me in order to be ha ha ho. And yeah, there were many times when I had accepted engagements, given I had not communicated it effectively at the time, didn't even realize it. But sometimes you communicate it effectively anyway, but the person just doesn't want to go. And that is also his prerogative. And so, yeah, I wouldn't accept things. I would avoid, I would hide because I was anxious. I couldn't be. Why are these three distinct stages present in my journey? And that's what I really want to talk to you about. In my turbulent state, when I was anxious, it was because there was very little intentionality in the engagement. The times when I chose to be intentional did not receive a matched energy. It did not. Remember in yesterday's video, I told you that women want to know consistency as a proof of sincerity. And so inconsistencies in engagement in that phase, variant patterns of behaviors, made me unsure of where I stood, and I questioned sincerity. And because I questioned sincerity and I was seeking to find it in other ways, that is where the needy behavior came from. The worry. Having been in that state for a while, I had made the decision that it was not a way to go. And it was not something that was very good for survival. And so we move into the next stage in pursuit of survival. The avoidant stage was purely for survival. In the avoidant state, this is what I began to do. I told everybody, hey, if you invite me, I can guarantee you me and nothing else. I was very vocal. When you invite me and I accept your invitation, it does not mean that I have accepted your invitation as part of a couple. I have accepted your invitation as me. I may or may not come with anybody else. If you came to my house to visit me, I could guarantee you that you would have a visit with me. I could not guarantee you that my husband would be here sitting and talking and chilling with you. I couldn't. So, just so we are all clear, this is how things are. My friends knew that if I needed to go somewhere and have fun, I needed to go and have fun. And it was me who was turning up to go and have fun. And there were no questions to be asked. And I began to see that that worked more, it worked better for me emotionally to declare upfront, to put it out here, and to just go about it. What is curious for a lot of people is how you manage to move from the avoidant stage into a more secure attachment. I think in the avoidant stage, my husband also had to sit down and do some conversations. And with the smart bugger that he is, he's emotionally very, very intelligent. He saw withdrawal. And he saw that this one was renegotiating and this one was reconstructing with or without you. And it was the intentional choice. That's the thing about intentionality, the intentional choice of sitting down and saying, hey, what's going on? Hey, these days I've realized you don't share. He began to tell me about the fact that I no longer called when I stepped out of the house because I didn't. I made myself very busy. I no longer shared. I would accept invitations and I would be going, oh, where are you off to? I'm going to such a body. Oh, did you not think to go with me? No, I didn't think to go with you because I didn't know you would want to go. And it took sitting down to have some very, very frank, very brutally honest conversations in order for us to figure out what the issues were. He needed to know the reasons why the changes had been made. And he had witnessed the changes being made bravely, boldly, no apology and no waiting for anybody. But he had also come to the decision that actually this engagement and interactions was meaningful, and that going into the avoidant was not going to be a good strategy long term. Remember, I didn't think it was a good strategy either, but it was the only one available at the time. When the prevailing circumstances changed, when a person intentionally chooses to show up in a way, when a person who would ordinarily not want to go to a place chose to come to the place, when a person chose to show up, when a person made the effort, it made me realize actually, I like this whole coupling up thing. I like to do it properly. I like to go to places as part of a couple. I prefer two people who are a couple to show up as a couple and to do lovely cutesy couple things, to being the Miss Independent who turned up. And that conversation and that negotiation in the relationship had happened intuitively. I remained avoidant until I was convinced otherwise. When the threshold of convincing had happened, when I had established that this was sincere and this is likely to be long term, when I had realized that it is a person's effort to actually commit and it was a sincere effort, then I began to relax. Then I stopped avoiding. Then I began to move into the secure, intentional attachment. I will come out and smile at you because I can almost guarantee he will smile right back at me, regardless of what happened yesterday. I would go to him looking sheepish, and he will become conscious of me sheepishly staring and go, what's the matter? Come here. Come to daddy. Come here. Or sometimes these days I have actually been so comfortable that I don't need an invitation to come to daddy. I will myself walk. and I will ask him to scoot, regardless of what he's doing, and I will cuddle. You know why? Because I know he will not push me away. I know that he will cuddle back. I know that he will make intentional choices that will communicate a commitment to me. And I know that that makes me feel wonderful, and that allows me to be spontaneous in expressing myself in the most authentic way. I'm sharing this journey with you because I know many who are in different positions and don't think that your positions are tenable. They are tenable. Regardless of what has happened in the past, it's possible to draw a line and to make committed efforts to change. Even if your partner is an anxious attachment at the moment, you can change the prevailing circumstances so the anxiety calms down. You can show up consistently over a period of time, and even the most anxious people will begin to see security and will begin to relax. You would be able to love on somebody enough so that even the most avoidant cannot help themselves but to engage. Mhm. Even the most independent, even the most aggressive avoidant may want to engage, may not be able to help themselves, but to engage. And it's all to do with the prevailing circumstances. It is all to do with the choices you make in the way you interact and engage with them. It is all to do with the fidelity of your engagement and interactions. And I'm not using the word fidelity in its simplest terms. Yeah, obviously, there is sexual fidelity. If you are hopping from skirt to skirt to skirt, I ain't doing that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If your attention is on X, Y, and Z every day of the week, the smart ones will avoid. The not so smart ones will become anxious. It is actually usually the way you choose to engage which determines the outcomes you get. Again, if you don't remember me, I am pro marriage. My conversations here are to help you to engage. And why is it always in the perspective of a woman? What am I? Since when have I been a man? And how can I actually speak from the perspective of a man? I will speak from the perspective of a woman because that's the experience I have had. I can tell you how women feel because that's how I have felt. But I can also use that to spotlight the things that make us feel the way we do. And for me, that is the gift to the menfolk. I can tell you the reasons why your women behave the way your women behave. I can help you to understand what triggers those things. I can help you to know the choices that are available to you. And so you can make moves, strategic moves, to control the environment in which you create in order to determine the outcomes that you want. If you want a happy home, you want to bring stability to the environment you create. If you want to bring stability, the word there is sincerity. You must be sincere in all the engagement. The person who is with you must know that your love is sincere. It is real. And in order for them to determine how sincere your love is, they will be looking for consistent showing up in particular ways. There should be a signature of how you greet. Do you greet with a smile? Do you have a cocky, cheeky smile? Are you the one who says, "Come to daddy"? Are you daddy? Do you know what it means to be daddy? Do you understand to have the warm arms that people can feel secure and safe in? Do you know how to be daddy? If you don't know how to be daddy, that might be a good place to start, isn't it? Yeah. When you are daddy, everybody is calm. Everybody is relaxed. Even the most aggressive of the independents is able to become interdependent in the right environment. So those who know me, who know my view, I always ask, how the hell have you remained married? I have remained married because the environment has convinced me it's a good thing to do. I've remained married because I have seen the fruits of interdependence. And I enjoy that fruit of interdependence for sure. I like to be in a situation that I know. I do not like elements of surprise. I like to have at least some guarantees and securities. And because those guarantees and securities are being communicated, convinces me to do this. And in the periods when that was not in place, as most of you had expected, I had moved exactly into the avoidant. So yeah, there are three positions people will adopt depending on the circumstances that prevail. So watch the circumstance, and the choices may be more in line with what you want. Change your behaviors, amend the environment, change the stimulus, and the response will change accordingly. Ask all the psychologists. When the stimulus is what calls the response, isn't it? By making a particular stimulus, you will get a particular response. By changing the stimulus, you will get a different response. So if you are looking for secure attachment, which is what most people want from your women, hopefully I've given you some insights on things that you can do to improve your attachment. I wish you happy marriages. I wish you great interactions. And I pray and hope that all parties involved invest in the intentionality and the actions that will help you get secure. You want the man to be secure as much as you want the woman to be secure. And then you will create a secure home that will ground your children. And your children will be very happy to come and see you goof around, because children like to see parents goof. Mine are back from uni. We are busy goofing. And as we goof, I've watched the kids goof. I've watched the kids very comfortable. I've watched the kids become very secure as I have become secure. You cannot get secure children without a secure mother, because the secure mother is what builds the environment in the home for everybody else. Remember that. I don't want this to be too long, so let's pause here. Let's hear your views and let's talk in a minute.